Namaskar, Namaste. Good morning, children. Good morning, class 10. Today I am going to take biology for you, class 10, because our biology teacher is stuck up in Nanapur because of lockdown. So I am just explaining the basic points here. Your biology teacher will come and then explain to you in detail. If you cannot understand what I am telling, no issues. Kindly give the feedback. Or if you can understand it, you tell. So I will continue biology till the teacher comes. So today's process, what you are going to learn about in today's chapter, biology first chapter, is life processes. So before that, you have to understand what is process. In biology or science, any definition is asked, you should use this word. What is photosynthesis, for example? It is the process by which plants make food. You might have seen your mother making tea. So how does she prepare tea? First she lights the stove, keeps a pan on that one, pours water and milk, adds tea leaf, sugar. After it boils, it is strained into a cup and then we drink that one. Or in your house, do you do like this? Drink milk, water, eat tea leaf, sugar, and then jump 2 times, your tea is ready. No. So for everything, there is a process. What do you mean by process? Way of doing something. To do anything, there is a way for that one. Even when you are studying, you have to open the book first. Without that, we cannot study. So there is a process for everything. Any definition comes, learn to use the word process. When you write process itself, you will get half of the mark there. For example, now you understood about process. Process means the way of doing something. Now we will see life. When you see about, you all know life. But before that, we have to know what is the difference between living thing and non-living thing. It's very easy to explain. Living thing means they are living. Non-living thing means they are not living. So some of you say living things, they move. So when you explain like that, you don't see the plants moving. They don't move from place to place. Now I know what you are thinking. You are thinking the plants, the leaves will move in the wind. Only the leaves are moving in the wind. Anything, even the paper will move in the wind. It does not mean that it is a living thing. The plant does not move from place to place. So what is the criteria to identify a living thing? So a living thing will grow. A non-living thing will not grow. For example, this pen which I hold in my hand, is it a living thing or a non-living thing? It is a non-living thing because after 5 years when I come back here also, the pen will remain like this only. Now you may ask another question, why are ants so small and elephants so big? So ants, are they not growing? It is not like that. Ant has got its own number of cells, elephant has got more number of cells. You might have studied in class 9 about cells. What is a cell? The cell is the basic structural unit of any living organisms. Of any living organism, living thing, that is the basic one. When you are making a house, you might have seen the bricks are arranged like this. Then at last it forms into a strong wall or a boundary, things like that. Like that, our body, in class 9 you might have studied about that onion peel. They look like this. They are small compartments. Who found out this word? It will have organelle inside that one. So this is how the cells are. So in 1665, Robert Hooke, he examined, that is, he looked at a piece of wood, a cork, under a microscope, and he saw small rooms like this, like honeycombs. And then he called it as cell, because in Latin cell means a little room, a small room. Since it looked like small rooms, he called it as a cell. Now also we are using that one. Cell is the most important one. And how do cells grow? How do cells multiply? They divide by itself and then they grow into more number of cells. So what is the difference between living and non-living things? Living things grow, non-living things do not grow. And for example, in the case of virus, they are microorganisms because we cannot see with our eyes. Microorganisms, they do not grow when they are in the air. When do they grow? They grow only after infecting or attacking a cell. So can you consider it as a non-living thing? No, it is also a living thing. That is why this coronavirus period you are asked to stay 6 feet away. Why is that one? When I when I cough here, it will travel up to 6 feet. If it does not get any cells, any people to infect, it will die there itself. So once it infects a cell, then only it starts growing. It takes the food from us. Now, whenever TV gets repaired, what do? We call a technician, get it repaired. If something happens to a cell, what will happen? So it has to repair, it has to maintain by itself. So for that, what it needs? It needs energy. So that's what we are going to see in this life process here. And before that one, I'll just once again recap this one. Cell has got organelles, and these cells, group of cells, make up the tissues. Tissues form the organs, all you have studied earlier. There are two types of organisms, unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular organisms means they have only one single cell. They have only one single cell. Uni means one. Multi means many. When I say multicolored bulb, that means many colored or different colored bulbs. Uni means one, multi means many. So in the case of unicellular organisms, example are bacteria, paramecium and all those things. Multicellular, fungi, plants, animals. Bacteria, paramecium, multicellular are many, fungi, plants, animals and all those things. In the case of, see, what are the main things that takes place? Intake of food. Then it is exchange of gases. Then we have excretion. So what are these three things? Intake of food means we have to take food. Like plants are the only producers in the world. They only can produce their own food. They can make their own food. They take carbon dioxide, sunlight, water and all those things, and they prepare their own food. You may say, my mother also prepares food. She does not make it herself. She just cooks it. So that's the difference. So for single cellular or unicellular organisms, these three activities are done by that cell itself because it is in contact with the environment. The whole cell is in contact. So what do you mean by exchange of gases? That is, you have studied in physics about diffusion. So exchange of gases means like animals, we take in oxygen and then we leave out carbon dioxide. Plants, they take in carbon dioxide and they leave out oxygen. So exchange of gases, it is done by that single cell only. Intake of food needed, and when you take food, waste products will be there. When we are also eating food, all the food is not converted into energy. Some of the waste products are there, like particularly urea and uric acid and all those things. They are very harmful to the body. They have to be sent out from our body. So it goes out of our body as sweat, urine or fecus. So here, single cellular, unicellular, all the functions, function means work. It is done by that single cell only. Whereas in multicellular, you take our human body. You know very clearly, all the work is not done by a single cell. For example, we take food through our mouth. How do we take in oxygen? Through our nose. Our heart, it has got a particular function to pump the blood. Lungs, purification, excretion, all the different activities, digestion is done by our stomach. So multicellular organisms, the cells have different functions. So what we are going to see is mainly this one. So we need energy. Like I said earlier, plants, they can prepare their own food, whereas animals, we cannot prepare by our body. So what do? We take food. So that energy, just by taking rice or chapati, immediately it will not change into energy. Our body has to change it into energy, and that is called respiration. That is called respiration. The changing of food. It is also a process. Remember that word. The process by which the food is changed into energy is called respiration. So for respiration, what does it require? It requires oxidization. So from that word you can understand what do you mean by oxidization. Usage of oxygen to break down that food into energy. So what is respiration? The food is changed into energy. Like I told you, remember, process. When you write the word process itself, your answer will be half ready. The process of changing food into energy is called respiration. For that we need oxygen. That food reacts with oxygen. You might have studied in chemistry about reaction, and it reacts with oxygen. That is called oxidization. And the third, another also important function, like I told you earlier, it is excretion. So whenever the food that we take is changed into energy or converted into energy, what happens? Waste materials are formed. You know, I am going to make a duster in the class. So when I take this piece of wood and then cut it into a rectangle shape, some waste material will fall down there. Similarly, our food, when it changes into energy also, it will create, it will form, it will produce waste material. The waste material, we cannot keep it in our body. So what do? You might have studied in lower classes about amoeba. Amoeba, how does it excrete the waste? The waste are all collected in one area. Afterwards it will be cut off and then it will grow another one. Then it will be collected in another area. Then the waste is cut off. So for excretion, what do you mean by excretion? The waste products during respiration, the process of sending out waste products during respiration from our body is called excretion. You don't have to explain that much. The process of sending out waste materials is called excretion. The process of changing food into energy is called respiration. The process by which food is changed into energy using oxygen is called oxidization. In multicellular, it is very easy to understand because we are also multicellular. We have different cells, different organs for different functions. Function means work. So, what do you see? So, the energy, how is it transferred in multicellular? This unicellular, I will be rubbing it. So, in multicellular, what happens? In multicellular, you have different organs for intake of food, exchange of gases and excretion, and we need energy. That intake of food or the energy transferred, energy is transferred from where? From outside, and that is called food, and then it is changed into energy inside our body, that is called nutrition. So we have learned slightly about this one. The main life processes are respiration. Why respiration is important? Without respiration, our body cannot get the energy to do any work. You may be sleeping in the class. You usually do that one in the class, isn't it? So when you are sleeping, are you living or are you dead? You are living, because that time also when the teacher shouts, your ears will be listening, your stomach will be working, your brain will be working, your kidney will be working, your liver will be. So even when you are sleeping, our body is functioning. So for that it needs energy. Where do you get energy from? Respiration. The energy is transferred from outside, that is called food. And then inside our body, the energy is changed, called nutrition. For that we need oxygen. So the process by which respiration takes place with the help of oxygen is called oxidization. When respiration takes place, some waste materials are formed. The waste material sent out from our body, that process is called excretion. So once again I repeat, respiration, oxidization and excretion. So it is one of the processes we learned today, and the other two processes we will be learning in the next class. Thank you very much.